Star Wars issue 38 heads to Tatooine, where the Talkie is about to have his mind wiped by EV-9D9 and his torture droids, finding it quite wasteful since the information he has in his memory banks is irreplaceable. EV reminds him that when you work for Jabba, there is no simple mistakes, but it is a good thing that he won't remember a thing. One of the Scourge droids suddenly grabs EV, allowing the Scourge to infect him and his torture droids. The Scourge comes for the Talkie, wanting his irreplaceable knowledge, but the droid frees himself, only to find a dozen of the infected droids filing into the room. Talkie doesn't understand what is causing them to malfunction, but he doesn't want any part of it, dumping a heap of molten metal onto the droids, who tell the fleeing droid that he cannot escape them. Talkie runs into some Gamorrean guards, quickly telling them that he is the protocol droid of the palace and he is being hunted. A serving droid, unaffected by the Scourge, appears and Talkie orders the guards to kill it, and they quickly do. Some actual Scourge-infected droids suddenly appear and the guards rush them, but the droids overrun and kill them. Out in the northern Dune Sea, Lando has landed the Falcon close to the palace, checking on his intact wardrobe. He wonders why Han never got rid of the outfits, thinking the man was just too lazy, and judging by the state of the rest of the Falcon, he would be right. He looks through the outfits, finding that it brings back memories as years earlier, he and Lobot dress up. Lobot doesn't think that the outfit suits him, but Lando reminds him that clothing is just another way to lie, and he needs to own it since if he can do that, he can sell it. The duo leave the Falcon and head into the city. Lobot, however, doesn't think that the pink wig he's wearing will work, but Lando reminds him that it's to cover the implants, since they won't let them into the club if they see them. As they walk, Lando tells his friend that the club they are heading to doesn't just have a guest list, it just goes off the vibe people give off, so they need to look and act like people that they won't even question and would just be let in without checking. Lobot doesn't understand anything Lando is saying since he isn't like him. He's just a guy who got good at running numbers. Lando begs to differ since Lobot is smarter than the other guy and he needs to be willing to use that against them since out there it's just them or the other guys and they are better than them. Lando puts his arm around his friend and tells him that everyone else is nothing compared to them, so they are going to walk right up to the club and take the fools for everything they have. In the present, the disguised Lando takes Lobot to the palace door, telling the Scourge-infected door droid that Lobot is a card dealer in one of Jabba's Mos Espa casinos, and they need to help him since he's a cyborg dealer and worth a lot of money. Upon seeing his cybernetics, the Scourge droid lets them in, but once they are inside, a guard calls them into an open alcove, telling them to get out of the open since the clankers will get them. Lando asks what's going on, but the man knows that he picked a bad time to come to the palace as it's under attack. Lando tries to get the being to tell them where the Talkie droid is, but he doesn't think Lando should go off looking for a droid since they have all gone bad, and Lando should stay far away from them as he can. Lando is still intent on finding his droid friend, pulling his blaster on the man and demanding he tell him what he wants. The man says that he will tell him where the droid is, hoping Lando and his friend get ripped to shreds by it. He points the duo towards the throne room as deeper in the palace, Boba Fett blows his way through a group of the Scourge droids, finding something is very wrong there, and he tells the disguised Lando and Lobot as they arrive that they should leave. Fett leaves himself and Lando thinks they just got real lucky as they enter the throne room. Lando spots Han in carbonite, finding that Jabba just hung him on the wall like a slab of meat. Suddenly they are confronted by the Scourge-infected droids, but the trap door to the Rancor pit opens, swallowing them up. The duo land hard on the ground below, finding the Talkie is down there as he emerges from the rocks, telling Lando to be quiet so he doesn't wake the sleeping Rancor. Talkie reveals that he brought Lando and Lobot there by activating the trapdoor, noting how Lobot's implants are acting up. Lando demands the droid fix him and the Talkie knows that he can, but since this isn't their first interaction, he never does anything unless it benefits himself. Talkie knows that the minute he fixes Lobot, Lando and Lobot will leave him to be assimilated into the Scourge, but he would like to get out of there in one piece and only then will he help repair Lobot. Lando has no idea what any of this Scourge stuff is and the Talkie tells him that some foreign intelligence is infecting the droids of the palace. The Rancor soon begins to wake up as Lando hopes the Talkie will fix Lobot first, not wanting to have to worry about him on their escape out. Talkie refuses to since he knows that he will be betrayed if he does. However, he will subdue the effects of the implants on Lobot so he'll be less of a liability to them. The Talkie does something to the implants and Lobot awakens a little bit, and Lando thinks that if Boba Fett thinks that this is a bad situation, then they also need to leave now. Talkie knows that Lobot resents him and wants to destroy him as the Scourge droids make their way way into the cavern, blocking off their only exit. Talkie panics, not wanting the droids anywhere near him, as suddenly from behind the heroes, the Rancor wakes up, trapping them between a rock and a hard place.